So hi, welcome to Good Noise Podcast. We're here with the Sound of Modesty. We're gonna ask them some questions today. I'm gonna start. What inspired you to start the project, and what does the name mean?
Sound of Modesty. So basically, I was trying to release my own music,
Mhm.
and I was cycling through so many different monikers. I tried using my name, that
Mhm.
didn't really work too well because it's quite boring on its own. I tried abbreviations of my name's initials, and then I settled on Sound of Modesty because it was sort of like an inspired mishmash between the Sound of Music and Modest Mouse.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Because I wanted to sort of wanted two different musical worlds in the name. And then on top of that, I also wanted it to be by that time I realized I wanted privacy. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's just do something that's really obscure, really indie, and I'm sure people will dig that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a sick name, so it caught my attention. So that's cool.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been going through phases of okay, this is a really awful name, I need to change it.
Mhm.
But you kind of just get to the point where you go through so many names that it's if you don't stick to one, you're just gonna not have a music career.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah. You finally have to settle down and just be like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this one.
So how do you feel about the response to your newest song?
Really great, actually. I mean, I've gotten a lot more support than I did for my last release, and I've built up quite a following since February. So
That's good.
yeah, everyone's just been really, really lovely about the response, and I'm just so thankful to have. Hey, welcome back.
Hi, Glory. Um,
Yeah, sorry, I was saying I'm really thankful for all my fans so far, and how they just keep pushing me to keep going at it and being better. Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Uh, so while you were writing the song, what was your headspace like?
So I was sort of in a writing block when I did start it, and I was looking for any kind of ideas to sort of scrabble onto, and I asked my friend at the time if he could give me a title or just a prompt, and he said language, and that was really interesting to me. So I was like, okay, write a song with language. So then I thought, okay, maybe write in a different language. So I started what's the best language to write a song in. So then like French,
Mhm.
and I came across um the the concept of stalemate, which is a concept in chess where basically both sides are stuck, but then also concept in war as well, where you have both sides that are just um at a not a truce, but it's they both can't do anything. They're
Mhm.
just stuck. I'm just gonna keep saying stuck.
I
That's
get
this.
that. No, I get it. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So I had I was like, okay, so I know I want to write something that's a bit in French. Then with the whole concept of being stuck, I sort of came to a narrative in my head where it's these two people communicating, and they're stuck because they don't know how to communicate with each other. And then I was like, okay, let's go with the warm theme. Let's set it in France or something, and it's between a mother and a son, and this is maybe their last night together before the son goes off to war, and they're both at a stalemate because they can't say how they feel. They can't say how scared they are or how much they'll miss them. So there's just this heavy, heavy silence that's between them.
Mhm.
And the line "écoute," which is in French. Sorry to anyone who's French if I'm butchering how it's
It
said.
sounded good.
But yeah, and then I sort of strung that into the song, and I've been working on that for about almost 3 years now.
Oh,
Try and get it to a good place. But yeah,
okay.
that's sort of how the song came to be.
I think it's cool like how you got the prompt and then just kind of ran with it. That's a different one. Something we don't hear very often.
Hmm.
Yeah, I try and vary my songwriting sort of experiences as much as I can to sort of get rid of writer's block and stuff. So that's something I'll do often. Like my mind will make those mental leaps and then somehow get a song out of it. So
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. So, what band's influences do you think you can hear in your music?
Ooh, a lot of, I wouldn't say bands as much as individual artists as well.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I'm inspired a lot by artists like Mitski and Pink Floyd and what do you think? Mitski, Pink Floyd, Bjork. A lot of indie groups like Car Seat Headrest. Scouring my brain now on the more. Big Moon, definitely, and sort of. Oh, with my previous releases, like my sound has been quite, like, a bit more commercial, like electronic in that sense. But with Stalemate and the upcoming album, I wanted to go in a bit more of a raw direction with the sound, like very like, band setup. So I was very much inspired by like a lot of the indie bands in the scene today, like Car Seat Headrest and like Mitski's touring group and all that lot.
Sick. A lot of good bands.
Yeah, so I know you said that this song was like 3 years in the making. Was any part of this done while you were stuck at home in quarantine, or was this like done before that all came?
Well, I wasn't stuck at home in quarantine, but I was stuck at home at summer doing nothing. 2 years ago when I started it, and then sort of had a finished draft by like December. And then I kind of just sat on it because I was like, maybe I should leave this alone and not touch it for a while. And I came to music uni because I'm studying songwriting at the moment. And I showed it to my tutor, and he's like, "I mean, this is not finished. You need to get back on that." So he basically helped me out a lot with like making sure that the structure was like equal and stuff. Like I look at songwriting from a very emotional aspect, of course, but also like a very objective aspect. Like try and make it as good as possible. So we're basically picking apart the song, and just it came to be what it is around like January, and then we got it recorded around April.
Okay.
Solid. So you mentioned your upcoming album. Will this song be featured on it?
Yeah, so Stalemate is the first single from the album, Cognitive Dissonance, which will hopefully be out this year, fingers crossed, if it decides to die soon. Yeah. And it's the whole album is basically an exploration on the cognitive dissonance that comes with both loving and hating your family. So every song is sort of a exploration on any kind of like family dynamic that's it's good and bad. So yeah.
Okay. So for the last couple questions, we're gonna shift away from music and go straight to death row. So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be and why? With a drink.
Oh, that's a really good question.
Thank you.
Well, I'd probably have to just say like, I like how some people have like those weird foods that they could just eat forever.
Yeah.
That's me with cherry tomatoes.
Ooh, yeah.
It's like a really massive bowl of cherry tomatoes with maybe like a side of hummus. I don't know. I'd be happy.
Right.
I could just die from that.
Wait, do you have a drink?
Yeah. Ooh, drink. Nice glass of Pimm's maybe.
Ooh. Wait, what is Pimm's? I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's like it's a. I wouldn't say it's a popular British drink, but it's. I haven't heard about it much in America. It's sort of like a liqueur you mix with like lemonade, and it's so nice if it's done right.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Definitely worth trying.
Yeah, definitely. I'll look out for it if I can find it. So, if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Ooh. Okay. I read a lot of fantasy. So a lot of my lot of the possible options of it in my head are like, oh, if you were in this world, you would probably die.
Yeah.
I have to say maybe this is tricky.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me just look at my bookshelf for a second. My heart is telling me Pride and Prejudice,
Ooh.
but I'm Asian, so probably going to say Orson, Orson's Got Cards End this game right in the future.
All right.
All right.
There you go.
Solid. We haven't heard that one.
Yeah, no, we haven't. So, I have the honor of asking the last question. Most people say it's the most important question. What is your favorite color?
Dark red, like blood.
Okay.
Ooh.
I like
solid.
that. Yeah.
Specific.
Yes. So thank you for sitting down with us, and congrats on the new single.
Mm-hmm.
And so thank
Thank
you. So this has been the Sound of Modesty and Really Good Noise podcast.